Beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Creatrix. So today I have a very beautiful, inspiring message for y'all that the universe is trying to convey to you with clarity. All right. And that is the reason why that I received this message for y'all to be able to hear, for all of us to be able to hear, understand, and use in our life. So this message is that there is no ending where we don't win. Okay, what do I mean by that? I'm talking about, in movies where, there's obviously in movies and in stories in general, there's always going to be a protagonist. Okay, this is your main character, all right? The person that does the most changing, that has the most growth. Okay, usually in movies and stories and books, the protagonist starting out is usually somebody who somebody who has fears or somebody who has an obstacle or a challenge to overcome, right? And the story or the movie that we're watching is the process by which the protagonist can overcome the obstacle. We see how the protagonist finds solutions to his or her problems, and in the process of finding solution, well, usually actually the solution is that the protagonist has to evolve, right? And there's usually an antagonist or a circumstance or a problem that causes the evolution of the protagonist, right? The antagonist can be a person, a place, a thing, a system, okay, a power structure. It can be anything, right? And in scary movies, scary movies are the antagonist is usually maybe a spirit or an entity, something that frightens the character or the protagonist or elicits fear, right? And without the antagonist, we would not be able to observe the evolution or growth of the protagonist, right? So this is depicted in movies and in stories, right? And this is because movies, stories, books in general, they mirror the world, they mirror the universe, right, as it is. And so we are all main characters in our own stories, hopefully. There are people, actually, the majority of people, unfortunately, are in NPC mode, and they aren't the main characters of their own stories. Someone else is the main character of their own story, of their own life, right? And my whole channel, the reason why I sit here and speak is because I'm aiming to inspire people to become the main character of their own stories, whatever that looks like. There's no judgment. You want to be the villain main character, you can. You want to be the goody two shoes main character, you can. You want to be the badass, you want to be whatever role you want to play in your life, I encourage it. I'm just saying, be the main character. Whether you want to take the left-handed path or the right-handed path, that's fine with me. Just start being the magician. Start creating, start walking your path instead of staying in one stagnant area and being an NPC, being a secondary character to somebody else, which is a boring life. We're not here to play second to anybody, right? So my point is to say that because we need challenges, obstacles, hardships in order to observe evolution, the way and growth and rewards and everything that's great that comes with evolution and hardships, right? We actually need the obstacles, we need the pain in order to receive the pleasure. We need the depression and anxiety in order to receive the joy and the excitement, right? Duality exists on purpose because we are creatures that experience so much. We are capable of so much. Both polar opposites of both spectrums are very much necessary. When we hate or when we love one side more than the other, and when we crave one side more than the other, that brings about suffering, that brings about attachment and resistance. And when we experience resistance, we are going to actually attract more of the thing that's causing our resistance, right? Like, let's say we only enjoy when life is comfortable and there's no shaking up, there's no chaos. right? Everything is smooth and all that. We are going to attract the chaos. We're going to attract the discomfort, right? Because the universe is always going to mirror back what we need in order to move, right? Same goes for the other side. If you're somebody who thrives in chaos, if you're somebody who, enjoys just low vibrational energy, you are going to be called to move into a space of high vibrational energy, balance out your energy in order to receive what it is that you want, right? So the universe is always going to give us our medicine, as bitter as it is. So the intelligent player in this game, right, is going to remain an observer in their own life, which means we don't have an opinion of whether we perceive something as a challenge or we perceive something as easygoing or comfortable, right? Either way, inside, we remain at peace. We remain in balance. And that is how you get the universe to work for you. That is how you trick the system, the universe, to keep you in a middle kind of energy, right? In a balanced energy. That's how you maintain that balance and how you can get to ascension or continue ascension, your ascension journey faster, right? To where there's little to no turbulence going on, okay? Because you literally perceive the turbulence as normal. You perceive the turbulence as not turbulence at all, just a part of life, and you have no opinion on it, right? That balance, that, and then maintaining that inner balance within, right? Because we don't have an opinion on what's happening in our life, is what is going to allow us to pass through these obstacles effortlessly. You get what I'm saying? So that's how you use your inner world to control your outer world, because all you're doing is a perspective shift, right? It's not that what you can perceive as hardships are going to enter your life, or what you can perceive as easy eras or soft eras in your life. It's not that those aren't still happening. It's that either way, you don't care. Either way, you're balanced, and you know that the universe must shift and things must change. Even if you're in a soft era, in an easy era, you know that at some point that's going to have to change and instability will come, right? Just because you're gliding through right now doesn't mean there isn't going to be a little turbulence. But the thing is that when we experience the turbulence, we don't perceive it as turbulence. We just see it as, oh, a change is coming. Things are shifting. Oh, something better is coming in. You see how just shifting your perspective can change everything to you, because that is the truth. That is the truth. The change is coming, and when change comes, things have to rearrange. Things look different. And if we're too attached to a certain way that something is, then when we can experience turbulence when something changes, but the change could be bringing about something better than where you're at. But if you can't see past the fact that things are becoming unstable and things don't look the way that we're used to, right? If we're too attached to being in control, then we can literally resist our own beneficial changes to our lives. We can literally resist it. And so that's what I'm saying, is like there's no movie or book or story in our lives, even the story of our lives, right? There's no ending in which we don't win. Everything is always moving in the direction for our benefit, for our good, for an opportunity for us to be happy and excited and experience pleasure, right? Everything you want to experience is at the tip of your fingertips, no matter what your environment is, no matter what things look like, no matter who's knocking on your door, no matter what they're asking you for, what they're begging you for, what they're demanding of you. It doesn't matter. As long as you can find that inner balance within you, you can create your own experience, right? You don't have to give into what society deems as a good or bad experience, right? Like, let's say this is advanced level mastery, right? Let's say you're getting evicted, okay, or you just lost your job. okay? If you can go through those situations, or let's just say you broke up with someone or someone broke up with you, okay? You were rejected by someone or something. If you can say, that's interesting, I'm still happy, I'm still in joy, um, I'm okay. I'm balanced, right? Like it's not affecting me. That is crazy level mastery, because what you're doing is you're attracting something better for you, right? Because we all know that when you lose something or when you're rejected from something, that is your protection, right? And if you can really embody that energy and say, yeah, I don't feel any type of ways about this occurrence, then you've already begun attracting something better for you, right? If you can keep that high vibrational energy. So being an ascendant master literally means that you choose to be in high vibration energy even when your circumstances around you are trying to pull you back down into low vibrational energy. But that's the part of it, that's an illusion. Okay, the illusion is that things are falling apart, that things are going wrong, that you have a reason to be in low vibrational, low frequency energy, right? Because there's no reason for us to be in that energy. Everything is always happening for our best and highest good. Now, I will say that if you are at a place in your life, all right, most people are not at that ascendant master energy. Most of us have not practiced that or learned that, right? This is a learned. So if you're not there yet, I'm not telling you to ignore emotions that bring your vibrations down. No, that's actually the opposite of what I'm saying. Whatever emotions come to you, you need to feel them fully. Even if they're painful, even if they hurt, even if, it just doesn't feel good. We need to feel our emotions in order for them to pass through us, because emotions are energy in motion, right? They come and they go. But the more that we resist feeling them, the more they get stuck within us and the more that they manifest because they want to be acknowledged, right? So if you have a lot of anger and you're suppressing that anger, you're not addressing the anger is going to come out in your relationship. It's going to come out in the way that you treat yourself. It's going to come out in your thoughts. It's going to seep through your pores. So instead of that happening, you want to allow your anger to express itself. You want to feel it in its entirety. Now, does that mean act on it? No. Feeling and acting is different, right? But if you need to scream or something, or if punching a wall or punching a sandbag or something makes you feel better, do that. But you don't necessarily have to act on your emotions. You can just feel them, right? Just allow yourself to feel it. And like I said, if you need to act, do it in an intentional or in an intelligent way, right? Yeah, so there's no story that is going to have a bad ending. If you look at movies, if you look at books and stories, they most of the time don't have bad endings, right? And that is because even the antagonist, whatever it is operating out of unconditional love. Our psyche has been shaped by societal standards, by societal norms that benefit the people who are at the top of society, okay, in the elite level of society, right? And they have taught us that there is good and there is bad, right? And so now our brains, when we operate in the real world, we're constantly categorizing as bad, good, evil, light, dark, all of these like polar opposites and all this dual stuff, right? But in actuality, antagonists are necessary for protagonist evolution. And the act of being a protagonist is actually an act of love. Do you hear me? The act of being a villain in somebody's life, no matter what the intention is act of love. And it's actually a sacrifice that somebody makes in your life to come against you to compete with you. To them, they obviously don't see it that way because society is not, like I said, it has a certain perspective or a certain paradigm that it works through. But the paradigm that I'm introducing you to is a total perspective shift, right? Because, like I said, the protagonist needs the antagonist in order to be able to develop into the best and highest version of themselves, right? The antagonist is not only necessary, but dire. There's no story without an antagonist. There's no excitement, no joy, no happiness, no nothing. It's just flat. There's no existence without obstacles and challenges and pain, right? There's none of that. That's an integral part of everyone's story. And so instead of looking at the people who are coming against us, competing against us, blocking our way, blocking our path, making it hard for us to get from point A to point B, instead of looking at them as enemies or evil or, something to hate and something to hurt, you start to become thankful of them. You start to see them as people who love you. They are, whether they realize it or not, they are expressing their unconditional love for you by taking time out of their life to hate you, to plan against you, to plot against you, to create a scenario in which you have to overcome. And by the time you overcome whatever scenario or plot that they are investing their time and resources in creating for you, by the time you get over that hoop or get through that hoop, you are a completely different, better version of yourself. Imagine if they didn't exist, you would never grow. You would never evolve. You never would. These people and these entities push you to be the best version of yourself. They themselves are an extension of you. Without them, you would not learn the lessons who make up your character. These people help you develop who you are. So without them, you wouldn't be who you are. So instead of being mad at your enemies, instead of hating your enemies, be thankful. You can give yourself permission to truly love them and come into the ascendant master energy and realize that without them, you are not you. You are not you. And also embrace your role as a villain in their life. You get what I'm saying? We're all playing the protagonist and we're all playing the antagonist simultaneously, depending on whose perspective it is, right? I know that there's people who look at me and say, this person's trying to ruin my life. Oh, this person is coming at me. They're sending subliminal messages at me. They're trying to ruin my life. They're mocking me. They're humiliating me. When I'm just living my own life, when I'm just out here like, oh, love, like, happy, happy, happy. Like, no matter what I do, I'm going to be a villain in somebody's life. It doesn't matter what I do, how hard I try to please other people, to be friends with other people, to give the shirt off my back, to give them money, to give them love, acknowledge them, to prop them up. It doesn't matter. Somebody's always going to talk about you. Somebody's always going to hate you. Somebody's always going to see you as, unworthy or evil or whatever name they want to call you in the book, as a bitch. That's what comes to mind, all right? As a retard, excuse my language, I don't use that language, but someone could be referring to you as that, unfortunately. But this is not to make you mad. This should bring you joy. This should make you laugh. It should, like, truly within you, not in a way like, ha ha ha, like you're beneath me. No, they're not beneath you. They're not beneath you. Your enemies, your haters are not beneath you. We are all on equal footing. We all just want to live our lives. We all just want love. We all really do. And some of us operate just how we were taught to operate, right? Like, nobody wants to be miserable. Nobody wants to be in pain all the time. Nobody wants to resist all the time. But this information is far from us. This information is not given to us. It's not taught. It's not instilled within us So the universe is our mother and father. The universe is our parent. The universe is our best teacher, right? And the way the universe teaches us is through experience. Like, we really are in these avatars. We really feel like we're these avatars. We really don't see our souls. We really don't recognize each other. We all know each other in the spirit realm. But in the earth realm, nobody knows who anybody is. Okay, we really think that we feel what we feel. We really buy into this illusion, right? Like, I can feel my hand knocking on my other hand. I can feel myself. My brain is telling me that all of this is real, right? So the illusion is there because we really need to believe what's happening, because the lessons that we learn need to be real as well. And we're never going to forget whatever lesson we learn here on this earth realm. And that's why this earth realm is so amazing. That's why everyone is trying to get into this university. Everyone's trying to get onto the earth realm. There's a waiting list. There's a long line of souls that want to reincarnate onto this place. It's not by force. It's not because they have a lesson that's not finished. People want to come here, even though once we're here we feel like, damn, how many of us have seen people write, or maybe you yourself have written, damn, I want to leave this earth, I'm never coming back here, get me off this rock, and da da da. Like, I see it all the time. But it's funny because outside of the spirit realm, outside of this physical earth realm, people want to come here, people want to be here, right? So yeah, when people ask me, like, how can you say that demons and these so-called evil entities are actually operating off of unconditional love, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, there's no book, movie, story, anything where the protagonist does not eventually win. And the truth is that as the protagonist wins, so does the antagonist, right? The antagonist actually wins as well, even though the story ends before we can see the antagonist win, right? Because the antagonist is usually a secondary character, right? They're not the protagonist, they're not the main character. But antagonists also win as well because they learn their lesson in doing the evil deeds against the protagonist. They become inspired by the protagonist, right? In seeing how much effort they put into bringing the protagonist, the main character, down, seeing that protagonist rise to the occasion and become a better person, evolve, that inspires the antagonist. And that's the part in the movies, in the books, that they're not acknowledging, right? Because the story usually ends as the protagonist learns their lesson, right? So we actually need each other. We're interdependent on each other. Whatever role you're playing in somebody's life, you are very necessary. Whatever role someone else is playing in your life is very necessary. So don't ever, some people have really strong gifts to where they can sense when people are not being genuine with them, or they are, what I'm saying, when they're being mean, or when they have not so good intentions, right? Stick out. Even though your spidey senses are going off, it's important that you still play the game. It's still important that you know that you're always safe, right? But it's still important that you don't run away from whatever is happening in your life, right? Because if you give into the fear and you say, well, I don't want to interact with this person because they're making me feel like they have ill intentions, or they're being strategic behind my back, you won't be able to grasp whatever lesson is happening. Can you retreat for a little bit to get your energy up? Yes, of course. But to completely avoid somebody, or not want to learn the lesson that's at hand, the lesson is going to appear anyway. Even if it's not that specific person, the universe will bring another person into your life in which you will have to receive that lesson. But I'm not talking about, like, once you learn the lesson, then you part ways. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. Once you learn a lesson, you part ways from that person if necessary, if that makes any sense, right? But before you learn the lesson, if your instinct is to shy away or flee from somebody who is an antagonist in your life, then you unfortunately will have to go through another lesson until you grasp the lesson that the universe is trying to convey to you. All right. So, yeah, that is the video. I feel like this is a good place to stop. I hope that this made sense. I hope this was inspiring to you. I hope you know that in any scenario, any circumstance that you encounter in this lifetime on this earth realm, that you are safe, that you are protected, that you can play. You can play, okay, with an antagonist, protagonist, right? Obviously, you are going to be the protagonist in your story. Once you encounter an antagonist, feel free to play and really be curious about what lesson you're supposed to learn in a situation. Always ask yourself, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn in this relationship that I'm in with this person, place, or thing? Okay. And that's how you become an ascendant master, right? Because like I said, we're always safe. And then once you grasp the lesson, once you understand what's going on, then you part ways, clean break, right? And you can expect not to need that lesson again from the universe, right? So yeah, that is the video. I love you all so very much. If you are inclined, please follow me on my other social media platforms, especially TikTok, because I do post the most on TikTok. Otherwise, please subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. Press the red button, or I think it's is it a red button? I think it's white now. I don't know. It might be red. But anyway, I love you all so very much. I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace. Creatrix out.